Okay, I think we're recording. So my name is Michelle, and this is Conversation with Caregivers. This is my first episode of this. I was talking with my friend Brenda over the weekend. Hi, Brenda.
Hello.
And she was just sharing some of her story about her current situation. And it was such a good conversation. And I thought, I wish people could listen in on this and hear it. So we thought we would just jump on Zoom and record it. So why don't you introduce yourself and just share a little bit about your family's circumstance?
Okay. My name is Brenda Bolden, and I am married, and my husband and I live with his mother. So she is 86. She'll be 86 next month in September. And she is an artist, and she's really an amazing, amazing person and very determined. So my husband and his mother are from Chicago, Illinois. So they just have a spirit of independence and resilience, just having grown up in such a big city, and both of them grew up in the city. And she's never driven in her life.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so she doesn't drive, but she is an 86-year-old woman who knows how to Uber.
I love it. So she Ubers here.
She Ubers around town. Prior to the pandemic, she was Ubering all the time. She has a smartphone, and the two things that she can do on it: call Bob and I, and call Uber. Those are the two things.
So good. Do they try and send, does she get the same driver occasionally, or?
No, well, occasionally, because in Papillion there's not a lot of Uber drivers, but she gets different drivers all the time. Yeah, and it's funny. One time she got an Uber driver. It was a young man who worked for us when we owned the wine store, and he had a second job driving Uber.
Oh, that's so funny. Our town is so small.
No, it really is.
That's so fun. So how long has she lived with you guys?
So she has lived with us. It will be 2 years in October that we've all lived together here. Yeah. So she's got an apartment downstairs, and she makes a lot of her own meals. So one of the things that's really interesting is that she is very independent. So I try to do things for her, and she really just wants to do things for herself.
Sure.
So, she told Bob one time, she's like, Brenda kind of mothers me sometimes. So I try to give her space. But yeah.
Well, and it's so easy to want to do that for someone that you care about. You want to help them and love them and
yes,
for them.
Right. And make sure, and make sure that she is eating well and things like that. And she really is. But yeah, it would be interesting. I'm interested. One of the concerns that I have going forward is that as she gets older and becomes less and less able to do those things for herself, will she rely on me, or will that independent spirit that she has keep going, and she will be not asking for help when she maybe needs it? That's one of the concerns that I have going forward.
Well, it's kind of like as we age, we continue to take ourselves with us. So we know that we're obviously going to continue to learn and grow, but I don't know. It's really hard to say. Just because she'll, if she is independent now, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to ask for help.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, and I think I see that, and it is hard for me to ask for help too. So I understand. Yeah, so there'll be a fine line where I'll be like, okay, I really want to help you, and I think maybe you need my help.
Right.
Will you let me help you? And as she's my mother-in-law, not my mother.
Right. So you're just sort of foreseeing that could be something in the future that need to be explored a little bit.
Right. It's one of the things I'm keeping my eye on. Yeah. And one of the reasons why I think it's really important to have a community of people who are also living in similar circumstances, or also caring for older relatives, because, maybe the way I think I need to do it is not right. Maybe I need to back off, or maybe I'll need to step in sooner than I think. when you're kind of isolated all by yourself, you really don't know. It's a complete guessing game. You
Right.
know,
And
it's
that's such a huge issue for caregivers, is that
Mhm,
isolation, because your world kind of starts to shrink
mhm.
as you're having to pick up or do a little bit more help out or whatever. And just, just to be aware that, you have this person living with you and you want to make sure you're available to them. So there is so much isolation with
Yes.
caregivers.
Well, and even today around that, there was, because so of course she's not Ubering now because of the pandemic and
Right.
everything. She asked me to take her to Target, so I did, and I took her to Target, and Bob and I had some plans this afternoon, some things that we needed to get done, and some meetings and things like that. Well, we couldn't do anything until we picked her up, so we were essentially sitting around waiting
Yeah. Yeah.
for her to be done. So it's not very many people will understand if you say, "Oh, sorry, I'm going to be late for this meeting, but I got to make sure I pick up my mother-in-law."
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Which,
So.
it's sort of surprising. I mean, I agree. We want to be prompt and timely, but I think there's more of this happening than people are willing to talk about. I mean,
Mhm.
that's part of why I was so motivated to have this conversation and share it, is I think there's a lot of people helping parents and not talking about it. Do you,
Yeah.
do you consider yourself a caregiver?
Uh, I don't know that I consider myself a caregiver yet. Um, I guess I give care sometimes, but I'm not really sure, because I don't know that she would want me to be a caregiver. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think she really is. And at that time where she's, like today, the reason she wanted to go to Target is because she wants to clean her closets. And so she's looking for storage containers to do that.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So yeah, so I'm like, oh, we'll take you to Target. And, of course, she wants to pick them out. She's all great. It's her closet, all that, you know, there's a, so she really is caring for herself most of the time.
Right.
I'm an assistant caregiver, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure I will graduate at some point.
Well, and I think that this is a space where a lot of people spend a significant amount of time, where it's not like maybe a hands-on care that's being
Mhm.
provided, but it's kind of this in the wings space, just kind of waiting to get called in or tagged in
Yes.
if
Yeah.
needed.
Yeah. And there are times, like, she has a bell. So if she
I
needs
love
it,
it.
she rings the bell. And so I might not hear from her from the bell for like days. Like, she'll be fine. She doesn't need any help. She's
Yeah.
fine. And then one day she might ring the bell like 6 times.
Yeah.
So, that those days I'm like, okay, I can see those happening more and more and more.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Yeah.
you're storing up your projects,
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
like thinking and looking around and
Mhm.
getting
Yeah.
organized.
Yeah. If she wants me to move something or come and get the garbage or.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we were talking about on Saturday was appreciation, and just how sometimes it can be hard to feel appreciated or give appreciation. And you had a great story about eggs. Honestly, it was so great. We should have just recorded it. Hopefully we can like flow it all back together, but tell us the story about the eggs.
Yeah, so this is kind of going to the how I foresee sometime in the future, and it happens so gradually. So when she was living independently, she used to love these eggs. They're the Yoder eggs, and they are farm fresh eggs. And the people who create the eggs put these little notes in there. So she always loved the notes, and she loved the Yoder eggs. Well, we used to get those for her all the time when she lived on her own. Well, then as she's been living with us, we just kind of got away from it. It was just like, okay, get me eggs, get me organic eggs, get me eggs, get me
Right.
eggs. And I Bob and I had been out of town. Well, when we came into town, I was saying to him, we were at the store, and I'm like, oh, we gotta get your mom some eggs. And he was like, she's got food. She's got plenty of food. And I
Yeah.
said, he asked for eggs. And so his feeling on things is that, if she doesn't ask for it right now, then it's not necessary.
Yeah.
I take more mothery. So I'm like, oh, no, let's get her the eggs. So then we got the eggs and we took them downstairs. I took them downstairs to her, and she was like, "Oh, these eggs are great. I can't remember, but I think I got these eggs before." And I was like, "You used to get them all the time."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's just a kind of an indication of how gradually these things progress. The things that was so important to her 2 years ago, she completely forgot she even really cared that much about. And
Yeah.
I and and then of course my husband, God love him, is a man, and he's not mothery.
Yeah. Yeah.
and and the story behind that is, like, his mom has always been like, you can do anything, you can do it. And so he is that way with his mom. He's like, she can do anything. You
Right.
know, he wants something, she will tell me and we will make it happen. But if she doesn't tell me, that's because it's not necessary. And
Hmm.
so I kind of come from a little bit more of a hovering, mothering
Yeah.
background.
Well, kind of
And
that female energy.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so I have to respect the boundaries because she likes to be cared for in the way a lot of times that Bob cares for her.
Yeah.
And there was another, I do have another story. A few months ago before the pandemic, there was a day when she was really not feeling well. And it was just before the whole COVID thing. And she had a really bad headache
Mm.
and she didn't feel good. And I was of the opinion that she needed to go to the doctor. Well, that was not her opinion, and it wasn't Bob's opinion. And
You
so
got outvoted.
I was the odd man out on this. And so my kind of feeling of mothering and was like, I really want to do this for you, made her anxious because
Mm.
it's like, I'm fine. She doesn't want to be planted with the seed that I'm sick.
Yeah.
So it's just the way I care for her and the way that her son cares for her is different.
Right.
And so there's going to be, I feel like as we go farther and farther into this, it's going to be more of that, because I don't like the word worrier per se, but I do tend to be a little bit more cautious.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, let's not hesitate to call the doc if we need to.
Right.
They are basically, if there's no blood, there's no foul.
Right. Well, and you're leaning a little bit into your intuition. Like when you're at the store, you thought, well, she hasn't asked for eggs and she didn't ask for them now, but I know she likes them. So it's this, I don't know if it's mothering so much as just, it would be nice to get her the eggs. And then what she loved about it, you said there's a note in there,
Yeah, from
like
the farmer.
from the farmer, a personalized note.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, and as you mentioned, it's like the little things that that she used to love, but it's this slow shift that she's not quite remembering how much she loved them or what that scenario was. But
Yeah. I think she forgot why she loved him because she used to talk about the note all the time.
yeah,
And she was like, oh, these Yoder eggs, they're really great.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. And I really appreciate you sharing a couple of stories. And
Mhm.
we're going to push this up to YouTube and just see what happens with them. If you do you have any words of wisdom or suggestion if someone is considering cohabitating? Is there anything just top of mind that people should know or consider?
I think that I think that I'm fortunate that her ability to take care of herself is really good. I think it's really important when you're cohabitating to have your individual spaces and have your
Mm,
individual time. That I think Bob was really good in setting boundaries. He's a great boundary setter, and I'm maybe not so great.
mm.
And like when she first moved in, I was like, "Oh, hey, babe, we'll just set up a little area in the front room for her. She can come up anytime." And he's like, "Nope."
Okay, she's going to have her apartment, her
And her,
space.
yep. And
Yeah.
so he recognized that, and I do think that maintaining that so that you can have a separate, so she can have her independence and privacy, and we can have our independence and privacy is really, it's been great, good boundaries.
Mhm.
That we may or may not be able to keep as she gets older, but I definitely think that as long as we can maintain those, that's been a really great thing.
Good. It's working for now, and then you'll pivot
Yeah,
when you need to pivot.
Yeah, and I'll be reaching out to people I know
Yeah.
who know about these things when they like, oh,
I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
yeah, my pleasure.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.